Hi Collective, welcome to another reading. I hope you're doing well as the temperature's rising again. I really feel like we had a massive release with the rain in the UK last week, at least anyway, and now the temperatures are rising again, which I just feel is really significant and reflective of our current emotional state, particularly the feminine I'm hearing. We've been going through a lot of recalibration is the word I'm getting. And it's like the dust has been settling. I feel like there's maybe something big that happened last year, and definitely, well, I'm hearing 6 to 8 months, but it's kind of like the dust has been settling, you've been coming back to yourself, and I'm just seeing a butterfly, so it's like the wings that it's like you're about to take off and fly. It's the Fool card in the tarot is the image I'm seeing in my mind's eye, and it's kind of like you're ready for this new beginning. You've been so ready for, like, I feel like it's been coming for years now, and you've been finally stepping into alignment with your true self and who you're meant to be on this planet at this time. And it's just like you're finally recognizing your worth, which is what it's all about. And the butterfly is about like the transformation for sure, but it's about the wings and the setting yourself free. I'm hearing from past limitations that have been holding you back, and no more. It's kind of like, and I'm hearing this is it's directly connected to the patriarchy, society, old ways of being, jobs that weren't in alignment with you. There's something about career here for you, and it's like trusting what lights you up, because that holds the codes, the seeds, like the insights to what you're meant to be doing in this lifetime. Really, we can get in our head and get in lack mentality and get all the scarcity mindset stuff coming through. Like, we can easily fall into that because that's what we're conditioned in society to think, like that only when we've got this, or when we've got that, or this job, or that house, or this amount of money, then we'll be fulfilled. But it's the biggest effing lie. Really, honestly, it truly is. I know that we need money and resources. Money is energy, but when you feel good enough, you will attract, you will receive good enough. And it really is that, because when we don't believe in that, there's an energetic principle that's holding us back from receiving. So we can manifest, we can affirm, we can intend, but if your core beliefs and energy that you're vibrating at and putting out don't align with what you're wishing for, then it wouldn't come in. But you are worthy and deserving of everything you want coming in for you. I saw a van that just went past and said Optimum Prime, but I'm just making me think of Optimus Prime. Transformers? Might be significant for somebody, very random. But okay, so I feel like that's about the machine, the system, and also transforming obviously from one way of being to another, and making the system work for you. Like, let's be honest, we're all living in this 3D society, even if we're going to 5D and beyond, and integrating that energy in and vibrating our unique frequency to let the world match where we're at. We're still operating, we're still living in this society together, and that's the key. Together, we're all one. We can be in our ego, we can hate, we can be like, this triggered us, they did this, they did that, but it's like, how can we see the soul in others, not just the ego? And acknowledge the systems. My throat just went then. This is really about using your voice in the face of adversity, in the face of the systems, the face of the patriarchy, any misogynistic attitudes in men and women, all of it. Speaking up for yourself, standing in your truth, like you owe that to yourself and to the world. Things are shifting and changing dramatically, which is great on a societal level, but even more so for us collectively, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and everybody that this is resonating with and that this video has found. It's about finding yourself and your sovereign energy in amidst what's going on externally. And if you, like me, a recovering people pleaser and used to put everyone before yourself before you could relax and find peace, that means that you would never find peace if you're always putting the external noise before yourself. So it's taking like a bold stand to put yourself first, no matter what is going on externally. That's not selfish, that is self-love, that's self-care. It's so needed, especially if you're empathic and a light worker, a starseed, or whatever you want to identify as. You ignite others, I'm hearing, you inspire others by being in your truth and being most authentic to who you are. There's nothing more inspiring than being confident in living your life, and that's, I'm not negating the shadow work or any of that stuff, that's all so important, but there comes a point when you've done a lot of inner work, you've done a lot of shadow work, it's kind of like, who am I now? Who am I ready to be? Who am I stepping out into this society as it is to embrace as my true self, to live the most aligned life for me and my soul mission purpose, and to inspire others? That's what it's about. Yeah. I'm getting something through about relationships. And like, I never used to watch any reality TV. I thought it was like mind-numbing, blah blah blah. Maybe that is totally judgmental. Things align with us at different times for different reasons. But I have been watching Love Island. I happened to get into it last year when I was in Ibiza, and I just love like the summer holiday vibe. But more so, I'm fascinated in human beings and relationships and cultures and how people interact, just relationships, how they play out. So I find that really fascinating, like the dance that men and women do around each other, and women, men and men, whatever. Yeah. And on the current, this is really quick, I promise you, if you're not into Love Island, on the current UK season of Love Island, Jasmine is like a total feminist, and that's the kind of feminist I identify with, which is true equality for men and women. But obviously we need to voice everything for women because it has been so suppressed for so long, and she's really making a stand and standing in her power as a queen, and it's threatening some people, and a lot of people are aligning with that. And there's something about that for you. It's about using your voice, being your sovereign authentic self, and the people that don't like that aren't for you. So don't be afraid of ruffling some feathers. I just said bird analogy may be significant. Maybe you have bird spirit guides visiting you, spirit family. Okay, again, this is very specific, but I'm getting there may have been a relationship that ended for you at some point in your life, that there was things left unsaid. It might not have been through death and passing, it could have been, but it may also just be a relationship that kind of went sour, I'm hearing, and left a bitter taste in your mouth, and you thought you got over it, and maybe something's been revisiting you lately connected to that relationship or that old partnership. And this could be work related too. It'll be different for each of you, but and I was seeing somebody just walking up the hill with a walking stick, but it's kind of like, it's not a walking stick for an old person, it's a hiking stick, and it's to help, and it's like, it's okay to lean on something or others for support sometimes. And maybe there was a lesson in this old relationship that was teaching you something, and maybe it's been revisiting you lately because there's something there that it's like a lesson that needs to be integrated and learned. And as we know, things will play out consistently in our lives until we learn the lesson. We could get rid of one narcissistic boss and then meet another kind of thing, and it's like, okay, what is the blessing in this for me? Why is this happening for me, not to me? All the challenging situations, we can see they're happening for us if we look with the right lens, because there's a lesson there. There's soul growth to come through, really trusting in that, which again means it requires stepping out of victim mentality a little bit and stepping into your truth and your power and owning what's happening and what you're putting out there too. Okay, let's get into the cards. Queen of Swords. It's like, here's this holy grail, but it's been locked away. You're feminine. It's like in the societal patriarchy, you felt like you've had to be a bit cutting to get by, to raise the flags, the old masculine ways of doing things in workplaces. And it's kind of like you've got to this position of power, not through not being true to who you are, but by playing the game, and that's okay. But it's like the message is to let your voice be heard, let your sacral be heard, as in your feminine energy, your creative essence, the truth of who you are. You do stand on business, as they say. Like you do speak up for yourself, and maybe that can be cutting to other people that aren't for you, but it's like doing more of that, but making sure it's in alignment with your truth and with your feminine essence, with your creativity, and not saying things to somebody, for example, that a boss might have told you need to have a word with them, and parroting something that someone else has said, because the way that you can phrase things and act and be in the world is so much more beneficial to you and everyone around you than what somebody else may say, even if they're your boss, or even if they're a guru or a shaman or whatever. Like, trusting in your sovereign power, your authority, no matter what somebody else says to you, they don't know any better for you than what you know for you. And I had to really go through this a lot last year, like big shamanic initiations of like standing in my power, trusting in my sovereign energy, that I know what's best for me, nobody else does. Even if people are like bickering and arguing, projecting what they think is best for you, like, respectfully, no, you don't know what's best for me, I know what's best for me. And it's remembering that, and even if it's not shouting it from the rooftops, which you can do, it's knowing that energetically and staying sovereign and true to yourself and enacting that throughout the day, like taking a moment to consciously remember it and then come back into your energy field, into your center of being, instead of being out in other people's energy. And the Two of Pentacles here, which traditionally for me represents spiritual material balance and masculine feminine balance, but I really feel in this context it's about like you not giving away your energy and your power to these external things that have been pulling your energy. It's kind of like bringing it grounded back into your being, because then you can make the most of yourself, your being, your energy, by emanating your energy through your being out into the world. There's a lot of fast-paced energy moving around you at the moment. Things are kind of like, the universe has been plotting and planning for you, I'm hearing, and don't give up hope. It's coming into place. I feel like there may have been an opportunity that came into your awareness recently. It wasn't maybe particularly the right one for you, but I feel like there's a sense of FOMO, like, am I missing out? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? No, trust in yourself. Everything happens for a reason. If it's not aligned, that's why it didn't come into place. And something better is coming in for you, I'm hearing. Okay, taking a breath. In this fast-paced energy, we can get caught up in it, and it's like a reminder to stay grounded. Again, staying in your flow, in your energy. You're magnetic at this time, I'm hearing, like yin, and I'm also seeing the black and the white, like the yin yang energy, and the high priestess, and it's staying sovereign and grounded between the pillars. New horizons, I'm hearing. There may be travel involved for some people. It's kind of like both of these cards, actually. There's this feminine and there's this horizon line, and it's kind of like you've got to a certain place, you have this perspective, but it's time for new horizons, vast horizons, changes, shifts in your landscape, in your environment. And this is also likely to be in a landscape as well as externally, because it's all connected, obviously. Yeah, flying high over adversity. There's this bird in this card at the top that I'm looking at, I'm being drawn to. And cloud watching may be significant. I feel like there's signs coming through from spirit for you in the clouds, so pay attention to the natural world. Okay, so I'm feeling like there's been some indecision lately. There's been a bit of headaches, a bit of anxiety, a bit of like, is it this, is it that, should I do this, should I do that, am I responsible for them, should I have done this, should I say that? Kind of just a lot of head, mental plane energy. This is the Five of Swords, and it's kind of like your soul self is longing for you to be free and to stop getting pecked at by this like egoic, should have done this, should have said that, or somebody else pecking at you maybe in your circles. And it's kind of like, I'm seeing like bloodshed, which sounds really dark, but bloodshed is also transformation, it's purification. Look at feminine menstruation, look at the moon and the tides. It's kind of like a shedding of an old way of being, again, the transformation analogy, into this being of light, into this soul self, this light here that's kind of lifting you up and calling you forward to step into the freedom that you deserve to experience in this lifetime, that the birds are showing you the way of how to experience freedom. Okay, so we have the nostalgia card, focus on the here and now, which can often be more difficult than easy when we're like plotting and planning and trying to arrange things for the future, but the magic is always in the present moment. Like true manifestation, whatever you want to call it, is like when you're vibrating at certain frequency, we can dip in and out of different timelines, and the universe will bring in different things for you based on like your mindset, your energy, how you're feeling, your emotions. So don't negate the importance of the present moment. You can, like we got earlier, it's okay to rely on somebody, to talk to somebody, to open up, to share your feelings, concerns, thoughts about situations, so that it can help you get out of the mental plane and into the feeling, into the emotion, without labeling it and analysing it and trying to understand, oh, I'm feeling this, but it's this, but it's like really getting out the words in the explanation and really just being in the feeling of what it is. It's kind of like in this card, there's this lady talking to her, and she's just offered a dream world, which is great. It's like being in your imagination. 33 as well, ascended master, big transformation time in your life, Jesus, death, rebirth. And there's a mermaid in the sky here, which is really beautiful. It's a really sacred analogy, like the mermaid. The mer in French is mother and the sea. No surprise there, the divine feminine, sacred waters. There's also a rocket flying off. It's kind of like there's all these wonderful things in your energy, and it's allowing that to ground into your reality. It's okay to dream again, connect with your inner child, and but also at the same time as that, it's like finding the space so that you can focus on the here and now and where you're at, as well as bridging the gap of the imagination and the things that you're wishing and dreaming about, and bringing that in. So it's both, it's the duality. It's like that Two of Pentacles card we had. It's the dreaming, the spiritual energy, and the grounded material. The dreaming and the grounded material, and kind of like, yes, you can bring this into reality, but also how can you be present enough to emanate from your energy field this magnetic, spiritual, goddess, divine energy, I'm hearing. Okay, so light a candle. Connect with the flame within your heart. This is about passions I'm feeling, connecting with your passions, with your heart. And the card says, bitch fire, stand up for yourself. Literally, stand up for yourself. Light a flame, start a fire in your name. With, obviously, I'm not talking arson. Sorry, I'm going to get back into the channel. This is number 16 as well, that may be significant. And I'm being drawn to the time as 1325, but 13, goddess, divine feminine, sacred number, but also 3 and 1 is 4, which is stability and grounding that into reality. Again, grounding the divine feminine, the high priestess, the seer energy, what's coming through into the reality. And lighting a fire, really, really standing up for yourself. This solar plexus energy, yellow, of like willpower, passions, connecting with your truth. And there's like this dark night sky around her, which is glittering and beautiful. So it's not always what we think. The darkness isn't always scary. There can be liberation and freedom through the perceived darkness, but it's kind of like this, it's like this tornado shifting, changing energy and landscape around her arms. And it's kind of like this black velvet night sky that's wrapping around you. Isn't necessarily something that needs to be feared. It can be the fertile void, the new beginning, the womb that we think is a tomb. It's rebirth, regeneration, which we was getting with the transformation energy and the butterfly emerging from the cocoon, having been in this, maybe in the dark night of the soul, maybe another one for many of you, and just finding the joy in life again, finding that I'm really seeing the colours of red, orange, yellow. So it's the grounded earth energies living again. Like dancing is the most sacred thing we can do. It's the most spiritual thing we can do. Indigenous tribes will always say, if somebody's depressed, when was the last time you danced? And when was the last time you danced? That's not to say you're depressed or anything, and that's okay if you are, totally. It's a shifting season. Remember that all emotions come and go, whatever you're experiencing. There is always hope, there is always faith, there is always magic and light, no matter what challenges or darkness you're moving through. But yeah, dancing and physical real world things that we can engage in, and are just as important as all the spiritual things, as all the videos, as all the readings, as all the cards. They're just tools to connect with your intuition and higher self and source energy. Like, you don't need anything from me or any other reader, for example, than what you have within you, because your connection to source is the most direct. And while I know it is so lovely sometimes to get confirmation messages, because when we listen to somebody else, it's like, wow, that really resonated, that really connected with everything I'm going through, it can feel very powerful. So it has its place, but it's remembering it is just a tool to the connection that you can go directly to. So don't forget that. And I'm just seeing on the back of these cards now, the Shaman Pocket Oracle is it's like a bullseye, a target. It's kind of like moving towards what is it you want. Maybe it's a time of reconfiguration, like really reconsolidation, learning what you want now that you've changed so much. Maybe the end game, the bullseye, has changed. Maybe you don't know what it is anymore. Maybe you don't know where it is, and that's okay. It's okay not to know. And the path always opens up when we get out of our head and out of control and trying to figure out what it is, and we find our way. It's like in Harry Potter with the devil's snare. When you surrender to this fearful, monstrous thing, then you're released. And it's the same with any tough feeling, like anxiety or like whatever the emotion is. When we surrender to it, to the breath, observe the feeling, allow it, it then naturally dissolves on its own, because it's in the resistance that emotion comes up, because we're fighting it, we're not accepting it, we're in the fear of like, what if this happens, what if I act this way, what if I experience this? And so allowing the thought, saying, okay, I see you, what if I do, what if I feel anxious, what if I feel fear or panic or whatever, let it come and go, because that's the most powerful thing you can do. When you're not fighting or resisting something, it just kind of gives up the battle and leaves and dissolves, and then you're in your power, because you're accepting and observing all emotions and returning back to your present state of power, in which you can experience magic and miracles, divinity, really, and all the joy that is in the world. You can experience the joy and the magic in the present moment. We have the Andean cross. Oh god, loads of cards just jumped out there. And the witness, first of all. So I'm just going to get the book, because I think it's really nice sometimes to be read to when we're trying to work out what things mean. Okay, so The Andean cross represents the cosmology of the shaman. It depicts the four cardinal directions, the upper and lower worlds, and the steps to reach these realms. The hole in the centre is a gateway to interdimensional travel, the proverbial eye of the needle we can all go through to experience higher states of awareness and wisdom to break free of linear time, which, let's face it, time is illusion, society is a construct, moving the goalposts, facing forwards in whatever way you want to go now. That is the vast horizons, that is the travel, the portals to other versions of consciousness that you can ground into this reality. The Andean cross announces the start to a great journey. It's a time to raise your gaze from the mundane day-to-day to that which, until now, has seemed beyond your grasp. Allow new wisdom to guide you and stop trying to make sense of it all before you respond with a resounding yes, which is kind of what's getting with the journey analogy. I was seeing the trail in the forest. It's like you don't have to know where you're going, you don't have to work it out, just follow the intuition, the inner call of what feels like a big resonative yes to you, and that will set you on the straight and narrow. I just heard, not that you need straight and narrow because I hate restrictions, but it's like on the straight and narrow of your path, of your higher self, of where you're meant to be. Okay, so the witness observes without engaging in any action. By cultivating inner stillness, we are able to assess any situation from a higher perspective and make better decisions. When we can be present for someone else's difficulties with stillness, then we are able to truly hear them and give better advice, and vice versa. Sometimes we can be so still that we are a mirror for the other. Then through our presence, they receive their own answers. So again, not people pleasing, not fixing other things for other people. The witness that has been by your side all along is now ready to become your ally. You thought you were the doer, but today you discover that things happen when you get out of the way, get out of your own way, allow it to unfold, follow the path with not knowing where it leads. Witness creation unfolding before you. Change reality by finding stillness and letting your true intent reveal itself. Oh, that feels quite powerful actually. Just let that sit for a moment. Okay, so the cards that jumped out, we have Coyote, which we know is a bit of a trickster energy, but it's like the fox, they also have a soft, loving side too, if they feel safe. If you feel safe, you can let out your authentic energy, but if you feel unsafe, you're guarded and more projective. Same with everybody. Just made up a new word, projective. Okay. The coyote is the symbol of the sacred trickster, the one who provides detours for growth and understanding by ensuring that things don't go as planned. The coyote brings the energy of divine deception to set you free from the shackles of that which doesn't serve you. Sometimes it appears that you will get everything you want, only to find that coyote brings you the opposite of what you'd hoped for. The lessons offered by coyote may at first appear confusing, but they are the most sacred and always for your highest good. And it was in the upright, so the invitation, if the coyote called to you, this is a time to pay special attention to detours and disappointment, as they are true tests of faith. You have set your intentions and turned them over to Great Spirit, yet you may find yourself lost and confused when it appears you are being led off course, but it's never off course, it's the course you are meant to be on. Remember this, Coyote is a sacred trickster and may be leading you into challenges to ensure that you are ready to handle what you've set in motion. Do you really want the thing you've been asking for when it arrives? Or have you moved beyond it? Or is the universe leading you to the thing that's more aligned for you? Great growth and understanding come to you when Coyote calls your name. We have the seer in reverse, and it's kind of like the sacred tribal makeup. Animal totems, the jaguar, the shaman, death and rebirth with the skull, the rattle. A lot of very, obviously I'm using the shaman's oracle here, but you may be attracted to shamanism, you may identify as a shaman, and like, yes, I know there's all labels and there's all things like, should we do the training, should we do this or that, but I really feel like many of us have had past lives with these gifts and we're reincarnated with them. And you can do any course or get a bit of paper, but it is really like an initiation that we go through. And you'll know if that's the case for you. It's like walking through the fire. We have the rattle here, sacred music, sacred dance, tapping into altered states of consciousness, trance-like states. This is very shamanic. Like, we've got all these animal guides, we've got the rattle, the seer, your seer S or seer power, connecting with divine intelligence and divine downloads. We have the witchy cards, we have the spiritual with the physical. It really is grounding that into your reality, either in your work, but in your day-to-day life, for sure. And here as well, I'm seeing the tree of life, which is a very shamanic symbol that's used in all religions, but it's like the world where we are, the lower world, the upper world, connecting with it all in your being. The sorcerer, which is the magician, the powerful seer, the luminous warrior, the heart of the sky, connection to the cosmos. This feels significant. Completion. We have this snake shedding skins, Kundalini energy, fire, Shakti rising, the divine feminine. It's kind of seeing like a mouth, and it's like being swallowed by the snake, by the monster in all fairy tales when we're being consumed. It's like this metaphor of consummation, which is again divine, sacred, masculine, feminine connection. But when we allow ourselves to be consumed by it, it is the rebirth. So what can feel scary is actually a new beginning, and completing of cycles, number 9, end of, something really significant has been happening in your life, and I feel like you're really stepping forward into this new way of being. And we have the crow here, number 13, divine feminine, again, it's in reverse, and we know the crow, blackbirds are like sacred shamanic messengers, really, birds again, paying attention to when they come near you. And there's this like ammonite spiral in the throat, and it's blue, it's a blue bird, and with the yellow moon behind, so it's throat and solar plexus. It's sitting in your power and allowing your voice to be heard in a way that is in alignment with your true self, your true soul, your true essence, and speaking that out, speaking your truth. We have here that you've been at this standstill, but you've been at this gateway waiting to go through, and it was in reverse. It's like you're waiting, you're nearly there to go through into this portal, into this energy that's connected with your solar plexus, your sacral, your power, your creative energy, your divinity in this lifetime, really. I just feel like there's so much there, and I'm not going to read all of those cards because loads jumped out, but vision questing, rainbows, the middle world, which is, again, as I was just saying with the tree of life, it's where we are, it's grounding your spiritual gifts into this world. The hummingbird, joy, beauty, and the opposite of that, any anxieties that arise, any fears from the past, anything that's coming up right now to be worked through. Trust in that, allow it, work through it, sit with it, figure out what is this telling me, why is it arising? Is my inner child being defensive, or is it trying to protect me, which is always normally the case? But what's coming up? Is it an old way of responding to something? Or your intuition telling you that maybe something's not aligned? I feel like you're way more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Taming the wind, like answering the call of the 4 directions of the shaman's path. The hunter, the gatherer, the beauty way, the divine feminine. This is lotus emerging from the mud, rebirth, the beauty that comes from the seemingly murky waters, and the dragonfly, which they're everywhere today, which we know is transformation, rebirth, sacred guardians. I nearly said galaxy, guardians of the galaxy, cosmos. There's just a lot about like this otherworldly energy. It's like that card we have. It's like this galaxy, this energy, this dream world, like there's something magical with you, with energy and portals and these other worlds. Trust in that, work with that. Cycles of the moon may be significant, working with the elements. Sun, powerful solar deities, working in harmony with the masculine. And if there's any thunder and lightning in your life, or there's a lot of weather things in this too. It's like pathetic fallacy with books and literature. It's kind of like what the weather is doing can often be a representation of what the inner emotion is trying to express and the release. And thunder and lightning can be very initiatory, again, that gateway, the portal, stepping forward into your aligned life, being led, not trying to work it out in the mind. The child, connecting to your inner child, and the wild woman that you are and are becoming, or if you're a man, your inner wild man, your outer wild man, really trusting. But for the feminine, your sacred, which obviously the feminine in men and women, the sacred rebirthing of your wild woman, of your divine feminine, of your true creative path and purpose. The owl, I feel like you're a very wise old soul. Trust in that. And in this other card, the upper world, we've got so we had the tree of life, we had the middle world and all those cards that fell out, and we've also got the upper world. So it's like, I feel like you've done a lot of shadow work, you've been to the lower realms, you've done a lot of that stuff, but it's like we had the middle and the upper, which is again bridging the spiritual with the material, doing the work, whatever you're called to do in this lifetime, physically in the 3D, and connecting with the upper worlds, with your spirituality, with your shamanic path, the crystalline light body, and bridging that in, like sort of blue energy, throat again. And it's this card, really, this is what this reading is about. It is this 3D reality, the 5D and beyond, bridging both together, being true to yourself and your calling. You've got the rooted, grounded 4 energy, red root chakra, and the sacral, so aligning your creative feminine path and purpose with the groundedness in reality, bridging it in, with these vast landscapes going on around you, staying grounded and sovereign to yourself. And yeah, this upper world energy, traveling to the upper world, asking questions, doing shamanic journeying, and bridging that into your everyday realities through your being. So I'm going to leave it there. That was a lot. I felt like it was a really deep reading. I feel like I often don't pay attention when I'm channeling, but that felt really comforting actually. So I hope that some of you may have felt that. Please, if you feel called, I'd love to know what resonated with you, what you're going through at the moment, what you're integrating. And yeah, it's just always lovely to connect with fellow spiritual beings, as we all are, but on this path of our journey in consciousness. So yeah, I'd love to know what you're going through. Thank you for being here, and yeah, I look forward to doing it again in the next reading. Bye. Hey everyone, I just wanted to jump back on because I went to the river straight after doing this reading, and I saw multiple, but three very prominent dragonflies, and they were vibrant blue, almost like teal, aqua, turquoisey colour, like really, really beautiful. It almost took my breath away. Like my attention was just drawn to them. And obviously I'd just done this reading where I believe I mentioned dragonflies and transformation, and it's this really huge rebirthing time for you. That's what I was getting, and seeing these for my life too, because you're connecting with the reading and I'm channeling the reading, but it's obviously significant for me too. But it was amazing to see these dragonflies, and obviously multiple meanings with that. The biggest is transformation and rebirth, but blue, I was really feeling the connection to the throat chakra, which I was getting in the reading, this vibrant blue, and yeah, stepping into your power, your expression, your creativity, and obviously some cultures believe that dragonflies are messengers from the spirit world, from the spirit guides, family and spirit. So 3 may be significant to you. Like I said, there was many around you. It just reminds me, I feel called to say that you've got a team in spirit guiding you, supporting you, loving you, as do I, as do we all. But 3, yeah, it's very powerful because they were the ones that were coming up close. And I looked it up, as I always do with different spiritual animal meanings and creature meanings, and it said that this is most likely called, forgive me for mispronunciation, damselfly or a damoiselle fly, not a dragonfly, which I thought was really interesting because my first thought was, oh, damsel, or damsel in distress, or mademoiselle, the French, which is feminine, divine feminine. Ironically, apparently they're male and the female was brown, and I did see one of the males going up to the feminine, which was brown. Take that as it resonates, masculine approaching the feminine. But yeah, these masculine dragonflies, damoiselle flies, but my first thought, even before looking up, and was that I was thinking damoiselle, mademoiselle, the connection, my mind went to that, and then I looked up and it did explain that connection from the French moiselle. It is that was the original, and like damsel is the English diminutive of the French damoiselle. And there's different references, like artistic. Pablo Picasso did Les Damoiselles d'Avignon painting, which I'm feeling is like flight and women stepping forward, you stepping forward on your new path, your feminine ready. And so yeah, it was. I mean, you look at it for yourself if you're interested, but feels really resonative and connected with that reading, and apparently it was women that were born into noble families or that served noble families, particularly unmarried maidens. I think the English damsel is the word for maiden. Yeah, like purity, but not just in that way. It's kind of like, oh, and it says something about they're the women that serve their community, which I felt was really resonative for you. And with that reading, like serving your community by being yourself, by standing in your truth and your power, in your authentic light. And they were vibrant, really vibrant blue. Yeah, so many threads to that, but I'm going to leave that with you just because I felt like it was really beautiful kind of ending to that reading, and it really made me reflect on transformation. And it said they're also associated with the upper worlds, spiritual higher realms, which is fascinating because that came through in the reading as well. Anyway, many blessings. Bye for now.